In the top right corner of Eternal Empire, as our pink Zerg, it's the Tiny. In the bottom left, as the red Terran, playing for Ris3n, it's Bonachan. Okay, SCV going out for Bonachan. Tiny moving out as overlords. Pretty standard scouting on both sides. So, if you're familiar with the Alpha Team League format, it's going to be a best of 5. It is a Pro League format, Team League, so both teams field 4 players. Those players go head-to-head in a predetermined series of maps. If you win your game, you score a point for your team. First team to 3 points wins. If it comes down to game number 5, both teams are given 10 minutes to elect an ace from their previous pool of players. Bonachan moving out with a Reaper. This is a little bit non-standard that he threw a bunker down here. It's also kind of early to have that bunker down as well. Did get scouted by the Tiny, so the Tiny can either 2-base all in or take the other third. And I think he's going to go for the 2-base all in, and I think it's going to be a Baneling bust. This has not been scouted by Bonachan. Okay, Bonachan gets out a second Reaper, so he's really forcing the Tiny into a 2-base all-in situation. Still no scout on the Baneling Nest, though. He's gonna see the 1 gas. At least a few seconds ago, he knew that the Tiny didn't take this other third. He pulled his SCV down there. But he's probably gonna want to scout down there again. Okay, he's going back into the natural. Did he see it? He did see the Baneling Vest. He did see the Baneling Nest. He's gonna know it's a bust. Lings flood out onto the field. Tiny clears the bunker as well. Bonachan floating his CC to the main. 2 Hellions out already. 2 more on the way. Second Reaper saves his own life. Tiny morphing in Banelings for the bust. Bonachan feels safe enough to move the CC out again. I don't know if I like this. I think this might be too much surface area for Bonachan to cover. Okay, those are good shots on the Lings. Tiny didn't detonate on the supply depot. He's gonna do, like, no damage here. That was very poor decision-making on the part of the Tiny. He should have manually detonated or crashed into the reactor, or probably crashed them into stim and got the cancel on it. Because as it stands, absolutely zero damage done from any of those banelings. Not a single SCV kill. Now, Bonachan did land his command center off-center, so he'd be mining inefficiently were he taking advantage of any of those patches. There's 7 banelings on the way. Stim is finished here for the Terran. Very few Marines on the field, though. They're not going to be too much of a factor in this fight. These 2 Widow Mines, however, are going to be a huge factor. Some SCVs finally fall in the natural. The depot is on fire. But rather than letting it burn down, Tiny crashes some more banelings in. This reactor should burn down. Ooh, 2 health left. The SCV gets the save. Command center lands again, still off center. Tiny continuing to commit. He does have a 3rd base up behind this. He baits one of the Widow Mines. He's got to bait the 2nd. He's not bothering. He's just going for the contain right now. Combat shield's on the way for the Terran. And with these additional 2 barracks going down, I think he's just going to go for the combat shield timing off of 5 barracks. Push these lings away, land his CC, and move out. He does have this 3rd orbital floating out on the map as well. Tiny finally repelled from the Terran mat. His army is in a rather compromised position. He doesn't want to lose this front part of his army while the 2nd part catches up. Luckily, Bonachan hasn't caught winds that such a large force of the Zerg is exposed to. Oop, he has now! A lot of lings get toasted, a couple banelings under threat. The Roaches will be able to overrun the Hellions, but what's more concerning for the Zerg here is the growing Marine strike force in the main of Bonachan. A lot of Roaches just get absolutely decimated, and this had very little benefit for the Tiny. He should have just dropped his 4th a little bit earlier, set up defenses back at home, risen his Baneling count, but as it stands right now, I think Bonachan has plenty to defend against anything the Tiny wants to throw at him, and the advantage for the Terran is only going to continue to grow. He's ahead in workers. He's dropping mules. He's gonna saturate this 3rd base soon. Well, I guess technically he's not dropping mules right now, but there we go. He's gonna use up some of that CC energy. Still more stacked on the 3rd. Bonachan goes for a drop in the nat of the Zerg. It's gonna roast 8 drones. Hit a couple larvae here too, it looks like, but the Marines are very on focus. So the damage is being distributed quite a bit. Banelings crash in. Brains are pre-split, so that was a very inefficient trade here for the Tiny. The Tiny crashes into Bonachan's biological meat shield here again. Fails to get connections. GG is called. Spawning in the right side of Golden Wall, up second for Ris3n. Ophiah. And on the left, as the Red Protoss for the Atlantic Canadian StarCraft Society, he's Snicklefritz. Snicklefritz has been plagued by the cheeses of Zerg Ris3n members for as long as time has spun its clockwork gears. Ophiah opening with a hatch first, but that doesn't mean the cheese isn't coming. Golden Wall, very unpopular map, but it's been growing in popularity. And I think we're going to see it more next season, especially as some of the bad new maps enter rotation. There's been some very inventive strategies on Golden Wall, due mostly to the composition of the map, you know, cutting off the lower third from the top two halves of the map until these mineral patches are mined out. Especially for Terrans, I think it creates interesting opportunities, but seemingly Terran has been the least creative with the structure of the map. I feel like Zergs and Protoss have these epic games where they're like diverting all their forces to fight over one base location, or swarm host play from the Zerg, or these epic drops in the main from the Protoss with a siege outside. But Terran's kind of like, I don't know, they have the ability to fly their buildings and put them down here, and they're invulnerable for periods of the game. But they just kind of try to play standard and expand up the top side of the map most of the time. However, Terrans aren't on the battlefield today. Protoss gets a standard wall off. It's going to be fine. Ophiah went for an earlier third timing. This does delay the queens, but luckily for Ophiah, no adepts are going to be hitting the space anytime soon. Whoa, a shield battery in the wall. This feels a little bit paranoid from Snicklefritz. I don't think this is absolutely necessary. We're going to see a Stalker come out. Shut down scouting. Snickle going for a Robo opener. Okay. I'm not sure what I should be reading from Snicklefritz's build. Ophiah moves the queen pretty far out. Takes a couple pot shots at the adept. Second queen moves down the ramp. That's going to leave the mineral line a little bit vulnerable, and Snickle may choose to trade out for some drones. No, he's not going to. Adept hits the net. And Ophiah only eats the mineral loss from the Spore Cancel. Snickle going into Immortal. I didn't want to say it. I think we're gonna see Stalker Sentry Immortal push from Snickle, and I don't like this at all. He should have at least gone 2 Adepts, because Ophiah got away with such an early third. That's additional larva on the field, that's additional drones out faster. He's gonna be at the drone count he wants to be at very shortly. Saturate these second and third gases, and he can go into whatever tech he wants. When Snickle pushes across, he's going to be met with a ton of defense from the Zerg, plenty of units to spare. And if he goes for a third, he's going to be met with a mighty Zerg push. That's going to be very difficult to defend. Okay, Snickle's going to mine out the back wall and take the back third. But at this point in the game, it's no big thing for Ophiah. Just mine out the middle mineral wall, or take the gold base, or do whatever he wants to, really. Okay, this is a really late scout here from Opaya. I don't think he saw anything either. Okay, he saw the Robo, didn't see the Twilight. Snickle opted not to go for a push. Okay. I mean, it looks like Opaya is gonna go for the attack, probably around the time +1 and Roach Speed hit. Maybe a little bit sooner. Speed Overlord will see this third very shortly. It is gonna finish up, but remember, Snicklefrit's been behind an economy for quite some time. Wait, Opaya didn't send it in. Okay, okay. He knows about it anyway. Snickle with +1. Sorry for the momentary distraction there. I got a phone call. Very unprofessional, I know. But 1-1 on the way for the Protoss. +1 ranged on the way for the Zerg. Opaya. I was talking about this, man. This mighty push from the Zerg. You can't let the Zerg just get up to the drone count they want, get out the amount of units they want, and then push into you, because you're not going to be able to defend it. 85 army supply to 41. Now, this looks like a really tough nut to crack, and it is, sort of, but Opaya can just mine out these minerals, and hit the back third, and this is a lot softer of a target. Opaya could even go up the ramp, snipe this pylon, you know, stop the Immortal production, get the Twilight, get the Robo. This is Opaya's world. It does look like Opaya is going for the frontal assault, though. Snickle going for like this concave, a couple Archons on the ramp, and then this collapsing in from the side so that Opaya can't just walk in and focus frontal fire. Some of the Zealots trapped in behind, though. Lings pick off a few of the sentries. They did get to drop all their force shields, but Opaya not even violating the force shields. It's like walking back and being like, hey, I can kill all the Zealots before they can attack me. Some charge lots do come in from behind. Take out a couple Ravagers. A little bit greedy from Opaya to walk forward while being attacked by those Zealots instead of engaging and repositioning the Ravagers behind the Roaches. So Opaya will get cleaned up here. However, Ling run by heads into this back third, and all of a sudden I think Opaya has thrown the lead. Opaya did take the gold base behind this, but that was a lot of army supply. Opaya had a huge advantage there and just didn't bile, just kind of squandered the engagement. Opaya's getting ready to go for round 2, but this is a lot less of an army than Opaya went in with the first time. Oh no. Oh! Okay, Snickle collapses in from behind. Some of the biles do connect with the charge lots, but there's nothing here to shield for the Ravagers. So they are going, those very expensive, very high value Ravagers are going to trade out for Zealots. Not an ideal situation for the Zerg. Now, Opaya is threatening this 4th base, but it's not too much of a threat. It's going to get cleaned up by the static defense. 150 mineral cannons paid off for Snickle. Snickle cleaning up a bunch of creep. Paya pushes up the ramp. And Opaya's going to lose this 4th base. The Zerg going from such a great, phenomenal position to being in absolute tatters, in absolute shambles. Hero Zerg going, not quite going to be a hero, so Zealot cleans it up. More Ravagers morphing in for Opaya. Another Archon from Snickle. Paya has another army together, but this is like the last one. Okay, Force Shields are being biled down. No, they aren't. He didn't bile down the Force Shields, he biled on the army! Oh my god. Alright, this High Templar are a little bit vulnerable. I don't know what it's doing. I'm a Battle High Templar! I shoot laser beams from my palms. I'm a Super Saiyan. Nice pick on the Warp Prism, but I think Snickle has enough to push through here if he plays his cards right. Again, Opaya being very cocky with the Ling Run by instead of using this larva to reinforce the army. Still not going to get the kill on that Nexus. The 3rd's entirely cleaned up. Snickle has the hatchery down to half health. Cleans up a lot of the roaches. Paya did take the top right corner base, but this is now a 3-base Zerg, not mining off of one of those bases. Down 21 workers against a 4-base, 60 worker Protoss. Snickle says job well done to his core units, recalls home, and they're gonna get a reward of shield battery energy. Except this guy, he's like, I'm too cool for shield battery energy, I'm just gonna stay out here and not heal. Charge lot warp in the main gets cleaned up with minimal damage. Oh man. Opaya! Opaya, what are you doing? Okay. In the top right corner, as the Red Terran for the Atlantic Canadian StarCraft Society, is Osiris. And in the bottom left, as the Blue Zerg for the Ris3n community, he's Neverwinter. ACSS did get the walkover over Raz. They waited plenty of time. They were very gracious. So they are going to get 2 points on the board against Ris3n's 1. Neverwinter opening up pool first. This is a gasless opener, so he is going to take a hatch behind this. It's probably going to be 6-ling aggression. There we go, 300 minerals. Down goes the hatch. Neverwinter's pool pops. First 2 lings are on their way. Second set. I don't like this. He built an extra drone. Okay, he's going for the Roach Warren. This is wrong, though. This is not good. This isn't... Osiris scouts in. He's gonna see the Warren. What? What does Neverwinter think he's gonna do here? This isn't a 5 Roach Rush. Like, not a correct one anyway. Okay, he can make 4. But he only has 3 larvae. There's 3. Is he gonna go for Ravagers? Because if he goes for Ravagers, this is super late. Osiris? It's a couple Marines out. Instantly dropping a Tech Lab on the barracks. It's gonna swap off with the factory and get either a Cyclone or a tank. Either or can really work in this situation. It's just a matter of different tactics. Okay, it's gonna be 3 Roach Pressure. Is he gonna flood Speedlings behind this? He doesn't... No. Well, I mean, obviously it's not gonna be Speedlings. There's no speed. It's going right into Lair, getting a Spine at the front. This is madness. Like, I really don't know what the Zerg's trying to do here. I guess the closest thing you could say is this is a fake out, but it's not a fake out. Like, this caused damage to the Zerg to get going. Neverwinter going for the Cyclone defense as well. Or, excuse me, Osiris going for the Cyclone defense against Neverwinter as well. Roaches are going to circle into the mineral line. Out comes the Cyclone. 1 Roach already dead. Lock on a second Roach. The Reaper goes down. And this is going to kill all of one of... Not even. 75 gas. 225 minerals gone for the Zerg. He has Lair. He's going up to 3 gas. Is this 2-base Spire now? Like... 2-base Spire... It's 2-base Spire. This is too late. This is too delayed. The Terran didn't take any damage. Had the Terran, like, lifted the CC and put it in his main, or... lost SCVs... anything. The Zerg could pull this off. Okay, 1 Transfuse goes down. The second Transfuse does not. 2 Queens die. Another Queen pops in the main. There's not going to be Ling Bane to back this up. It's going to be Muta Roach, I guess. Which can work against Battle Mech, but we need to see... Roach speed. And look how few Muta are going to be able to be made here. It's going to be 4 Muta when the Spire pops, maybe 5. Depending on how you look at it. It's going to be 4 instantly, and then another one in a couple of seconds here. But Neverwinter's grabbed a 3rd. It's also super late. Osiris already morphing his 3rd orbital. The Cyclone count is going to grow by 2, at least, by the time the Muta arrive. Spine moves forward. It's going to get gunned down by the Cyclones. Active Tumor gets picked off. Cyrus sends out another Cyclone. Scans the main. He's gonna see the double Evo and the Spire and just be very confused by it. Oh man. Seven Mutas on the field. I mean, there's almost a Cyclone. Okay, now there's more Cyclones than Muta. And Osiris is in a wonderful position here. Neverwinter saturating his 3rd base, but so very, very far behind. Osiris actually moves the Cyclones out here to the right, but he's landing the CC over to the left. Okay, he's gonna reposition the battle mech. Some SCVs finally getting picked off by the Muta. Osiris takes a little bit of time to respond here. Oh, 2 Muta get picked off for 8 SCVs. It's definitely worth the trade, but only by a little bit. Okay, definitely not worth the trade if you lose all the Muta. Oh my god, a scans drops, so the lock-on keeps going. Osiris pushes forward. Every Muta picked out of the sky. Neverwinter scrambling to get roaches. Queen goes down. Overseer does as well. Roaches push out for Neverwinter. The 4th is not going to survive. He doesn't get the cancel. Osiris looking very strong. Bile connects with like 4 of the Cyclones, but no kills. All the roaches are dead. The 3rd is also dead and stunned. There's no saving this. There's now more Cyclones than there are Zerglings. And this is Neverwinter's last gasp. 7 more roaches are going to hit the field. But they're not going to be able to dislodge this at this juncture. Osiris continuing to build SCVs back at home. 5 more Hellions. Another couple Cyclones coming out. The Overlord Cloud is under siege. Neverwinter is now supply blocked. He can't make units. He's gonna do everything he can to defend. GG, well played is called. Osiris